Welcome to Murtoa. This charming little town on the edge of the Wimmera has a really fine knack for keeping history alive. We're going to show you some of the amazing things that we found there, our final stop in the Wimmera before we head south toward the Grampians and a beautiful lake where we're going to camp the night, hopefully. Now the Wimmera means grain, and in Murtoa they have something completely unique in Australia, dating back to World War II. Now if you want to handle grain, you need to have a rail line. And there's a beautifully preserved rail museum here with a fascinating glimpse into yesterday and some new things that I haven't even seen before. What a great bite. There is also some excellent silo art by Sam Bates, better known as Smug, who was inspired by the work of Dr. John Cade. Dr. John Cade, born in Murtoa, became a pioneering Australian psychiatrist whose life took a dramatic turn during World War II. Captured after the fall of Singapore, he spent 3 years as a prisoner of war in Changi, where he witnessed the profound biological impact of stress and deprivation. After returning home, Cade's curiosity led him to find a simple but world-changing discovery: lithium's ability to calm mania. His 1949 findings became the first effective medical treatment for bipolar disorder, transforming millions of lives and reshaping modern psychiatry. I don't remember them. Tell me how it works.
Oh, you put your money in.
Yep.
You get your drink and which one, so you slide along and pull it up.
All right. Those are the bottles.
Yep.
Very
I haven't
good.
seen bottle. Oh, yeah, it must be in that shape. Can't remember that, but yeah, that's how it worked.
Lemonade. Murtoa lemonade. Murtoa.
But see, this is, yeah,
So they would have been made locally.
But we had like Coke bottles and everything coming out.
Yep.
They weren't.
So they're from the local soft drink company.
So
Very
it might
nice.
be made different. I didn't think ours was that shape.
20-cent coins only. So it was from, at least from the decimal year.
Yes, well, not back in the pennies and farthings, thank you.
That's right. And the flour mill, right at the end.
Yeah.
So that's a flour mill. The grain storage. The railway. Somebody's farm. And
The sheep under the train.
yeah,
Or off under too.
the old turntable up there. The Railway Museum was an unexpected pleasure. We didn't come here for this, we simply came here to look at another element of the town, but what a joy it was to find such a well-preserved record of the place and some of the reasons why the place is here. The grain, the milling, and what we're about to go look at now. Australia entered World War II as one of the world's major wheat exporters, but the war upended everything, with shipping lanes disrupted and traditional markets in Britain and Europe collapsing. Millions of bushels of wheat suddenly had nowhere to go. Faced with a mounting grain glut and no way to move it overseas, the government needed fast, massive and cheap storage. Wartime shortages meant that steel was scarce, so builders turned to what Australia had in abundance, which was timber. Using unmilled mountain ash poles, many salvaged from forests burned in the 1939 bushfires, they created vast cathedral-like structures held together with galvanised hoop iron, and these became the emergency stick sheds, the largest rustically built structures in the country. Murtoa was chosen first and the largest of these sheds because it sat at the heart of Victoria's wheat belt, directly beside the main Melbourne to Adelaide railway line, with an additional branch feeding grain from the Northern Mallee. It was the perfect logistical hub, close to growers, close to rail, and central to the region's grain economy. We can see here a whole range of replacement poles that have been brought in. They're going to replace some of the old and damaged sections of the shed. If you have a look up there, you'll see the odd yellow piece. Those yellow pieces are actually metal trusses that have been brought in to reinforce everything. And gradually they're doing some repairs just to help hold this shed together, so it will be preserved for future generations to be able to come and see. What a beautiful spot. Some of the conveying equipment, these belts here that are on the floor, used to run up there, and the grain would run up, all the way until it connects up with those other conveyors up there. And that's a place where the grain would be funneled along the shed until it was in the right location, then it would be piled up. If you have a look at the angle of the roof, that gives you an indication of the angle of repose that the grain sits at. These sheds were built for wheat. Different grains will have a different angle of repose. What I mean by that is, you can see the angle of the roof. Well, that's the angle that the grain will mound up. If you pour grain down the middle, then it will fall down in an arc like this and sit in that space. That way you can use the maximum amount of space in the shed and get as many tons of grain in as possible. Here are some more ends off the conveyor belts. Here's the drive unit. You can still see a pulley wheel there. This looks like a big gearbox and drives through that bearing into this big roller that makes it go round and round. That's exactly the same thing as you would have here on this unit at the other end where the motor is. The pigeons like it here too. A lot of this conveying is more modern. This was not World War II conveying, but this shed was still in use, I believe, up until 1990. So a lot of this stuff could have been from the 70s, 80s. Now you might be wondering, how is this conveyor over here? What stops the grain from all falling in there? Well, once upon a time, all of this would have been walled off. And you can see a section down there where the boards are still in place. So you would have been able to walk right around the outside of the shed. And these little chutes here, this would have been like a little window that you could open up and down, and you can see the slide here where the chute used to go. So you could open that up and get the grain to come through. All along the other wall you can see the walling is still there, so you would have been able to pull grain out of either side. You could also have opened a chute up to test the grain, to get some grain out and test the moisture, test the weevils, all that sort of stuff. So what do you think they put all these bolts inside these rubber belts for? What could it mean? Look at them down here on the ground. Row after row. Is it for decoration? Is it for strengthening? Or, I'll show you what it is. They have these buckets that connected. That sits there like that. It goes up and up and up. Where does it go? It goes up there. So that bucket elevator lifts the grain all the way up there, up to the top, where it can then be distributed down through the transfer belts and along the shed, all the way along and out. So that's how they lift all this grain up. James Hill was a self-taught naturalist who settled in the Wimmera in the late 1800s. He was a farmer, a mechanic, a musician, and a lifelong observer of the natural world. Over more than 50 years, he built an extraordinary collection of birds, animals, and specimens, many now rare or long gone, all preserved with patience and skill. What you see here isn't just taxidermy, it's the record of one man's curiosity created in a small rural community and kept alive so the future generations can see the world as he once did. You can see this incredible display at the Murtoa Museum, along with many other unique and amazing artefacts. It was time to leave the amazing history and the Wimmera behind and embark on the next phase of our journey. We headed south. In the next episode, Lake Lonsdale and a beautiful view of the Grampians awaits us. We're going to be camping. How will it go? What exciting adventures are we going to get up to? Well, you'll have to join us then. But thank you so much for watching. As always, if you like the video, please give us a like. It really does give us a big boost. Thank you so much, and here's a few last images of the day just to share with you. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.